There's one thing that I desire. Truly. There's one, and I actually believe that it's the same for everybody. But I know it in myself. And it is the desire to feel taken care of. The desire to feel taken care of. The desire to feel everything's okay. I'm safe to just be here. I don't need to plan. I don't need to project away from this moment. I don't need to figure anything out. I don't need to prep for anything. I don't need to know what comes because I trust it. That's what I want. What I want is to feel this. And I recognize that it is entirely within my power to feel that. To actually be experiencing the thing that I desire. To be living that every moment. Do I also kind of want conditions to back that up? Would I like conditions to support that? Yes, I would. There's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling a desire, saying I recognize that I would like conditions to support and reinforce this feeling. But also, I recognize that I would like to have unconditional access to this. I would like to learn to source this for myself regardless of conditions. I would like it to be clear that it really is not connected. That really nothing is required. I would like that to be clear. And that means that I am also asking for, I would also like conditions that directly challenge this, so that I have the opportunity to reach for this place, to go somewhere deeper that is beyond condition, and show myself, demonstrate to myself that I can feel this feeling. I can feel the way that I want to feel. I can have the one thing that I truly desire, the one thing that really matters, the one thing that makes a difference in my experience, that makes the difference between ease and dis-ease, dissatisfaction and satisfaction, the difference between tensed against and terrified and hopeless and despairing, and relaxed, open, curious, present, listening, without concern, without worry. Not knowing, but excited by that. Excited about not knowing because I trust what comes. I want not to have control over conditions. I want conditions to surprise me. I don't want to be in the kitchen cooking the food that I'm then going to eat. I would like it to be prepared for me behind the curtain, so that when it arrives, it's a surprise. I would like to be riding the roller coaster and have that sense of, I'm not in control of this, and that's okay. In fact, that's delightful. That's exciting. It's exciting not knowing where this is going, but I trust it. I trust that I'm okay the whole way. I trust that I am safe to just be here, hands in the air, screaming, squealing, delighting at every unexpected twist and turn, Because the whole way along, I know I'm okay. Everything is okay. This is okay. I am taken care of. I don't need to do anything. I want to know. I would like to know. I desire to know that I do not require or even really want control over conditions. I really don't want that. I would like to trust. That's what feels good. And I have the choice to trust at any given moment, regardless of what the conditions are. In fact, I feel more powerfully the pleasure, the peace of trusting when the conditions are perhaps directly challenging that. I am more aware, I am more intensely experiencing myself and my power to choose. When the external situation seems to be trying to influence me, could very easily influence me away from that, into resistance, into fear, into doubt, into manipulation, into suffering. The only thing that feels good is to trust that everything's okay, to trust that I'm okay, to trust that I'm taken care of, to choose to feel taken care of, to relax, to let go, and give myself permission to fully be, to just be, to finally be here, to stop waiting for the perfect conditions to be here, to let the mind rest, to let myself stop following the projection into the future, into the next 5 minutes, the next 5 days, the next 5 years. To stop thinking ahead, to trust that everything is going to show up. I don't need to plan that. It will all come to me in the moment. Every artist knows that this is the way that magic happens, the way that what we would call strokes of genius. That's the way this unfolds. You don't plan anything. There might be some practice of muscle memory, but even that, I have seen people with no muscle memory for a given art pick up an instrument, paintbrush, or start moving their body and just letting it through. And what comes through is genius. It's masterful, it's skillful. And there is no mastery over. In fact, that word, mastery implies power over, doesn't it? Because that's what we've turned everything into. A battleground, a wrestling match, a place for domination. You versus that's gotten confused, because you can see something that is actually trust. It's actually stepping out of the way. It's actually totally opening. And we call that mastery. We confuse these things. And I'm searching for another word in me that is really more the acceptance of knowing nothing. It's the acceptance of allowing yourself to be moved. It's trust. It is residing in the place of trust. It's the empty cup. It's the white belt mindset. It is listening and permitting yourself to fully be here. It's not waiting. It's not trying. It's not attempting to do anything. It's just being here. And sometimes things move through. Oftentimes things move through. Many times. In fact, I would say all the time, because stillness and silence are not an absence of movement. Like we've talked about, the rest is part of the music. The rest is just a different kind of note playing. The silent one. Stillness is not separate from movement. It's just the subtle version. It's the subtle form. You could call it the non-physical movement. And that's why I believe there isn't form and not form, formless. What we perceive as formless is the subtle version. But it's still very much present. It's still there. There's no not being. It's just the kind that's not visible to the naked eye. It takes a different kind of sensing. I guess what I wanted to say is what I've said. But I am going to bring this back around to what I was feeling a few minutes ago before I started this video. And that is the awareness of the shift that has been happening, that is continuing, that will continue to happen. Divergence. I don't want to call it a separation. I don't really care for that word. But it is a divergence. It's a growing distinction. An increased awareness of the contrast between, the difference between love and fear. And seeing what is driving, what is motivating action. And again, very often, when love is driving, the action that you see is the subtle form. It's stillness. It is what we would call inaction. It's at rest. It is motion at rest. It's not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time, it's that. And I would also call this distinction, if we're talking about love in contrast to fear, I would also call it non-polarity in contrast to polarity, polarization. None of this is on hierarchy. Absolutely none of it. This is a spectrum. This is the distinction between something like the color blue and the color red. This is the distinction between hot and cold. Okay, one is not better than the other. This is not a vertical gradation. This is The awareness that everything is equivalent, it is all on this landscape, but there are distinct parts of this landscape. These things are different. They're all experience, and all experience being equal is good. But you explore this landscape knowing it is good to explore it, and you come to some places that you like more than others. You just like them more. That's it. It's not a value judgment. They are not better. They're not more worthy. They're not more valuable. All of it's valuable for being what it is. It's like tasting the flavors. You like chocolate more than you like vanilla. Vanilla's not bad. You don't start a war against vanilla. You just like chocolate. And you don't get all up in arms when vanilla happens. You just keep asking for chocolate. And life is interested in refining this palette, providing more of what it likes. And that's you, more of what you like. You are life. You could never be anything separate from that or other than that. That is not possible. This is what is. So your preferences are refining experience. But your preferences are not moral. They're not ethical. They don't mean anything. They're not right or wrong. They're not good or bad. Those are not preferences. Those are judgments. That lies on the imaginary evaluation scale. The evaluation of experience, the hierarchy of experience that the mind has projected over everything. It's made it up. It doesn't exist. It's entirely fabricated. It is a myth. And because it's a myth, it is not true. And because it is not true, when we align ourselves, when we take on these opinions as personal, as real, when we step into this stance against, when we take a stance for or against, which you can only do if you are participating in the hierarchy, you have stepped onto the hierarchy. You're on the ladder. When you say this should be, this should not be, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, you have taken a stance. And that stance is subjective, right? It's not absolute. It's relative. It cannot, therefore, be true. It is subjective. It must be made up. It's not an absolute truth. And you are absolute. You are the objective truth. So when you take a subjective stance like that, preference, by the way, is not taking a stance. You're free to like and dislike because that's not any sort of projection. You're not saying anything about anything. You are speaking the truth of your experience. You are speaking objectively. It is objective to say, I like this. That is true. That's not made up. But if you say, I like this, and I don't like that, and therefore that should go away, that should not exist, that's when you actually are lying. That's not true. You are speaking something that just fundamentally, factually isn't true. To say that should not exist, not true. And you feel the resistance of the lie, of actually going against yourself. You are speaking the reality of that is, That's truth. And you can speak, and please do, freely, the objective truth, the reality that I don't like that. All of that is true. There's no contradiction there. There's no resistance there. You have not taken a position against reality, against yourself. But if you say, I don't like that, and that should not be, you have created a pressure point. Okay, thank you. Stop signs. You've created a pressure point within yourself. You have created pressure. You have moved from the neutral, non-polarized, stateless, stanceless, positionless space of you, right? This is the reality of you. This is the truth of you. You are without state. You are without position. You objectively are. And that is the most that can be said. This is your natural way of being. You're very much alive, conscious, feeling, experiencing, aware. You're very much you. And you experience preference. But you do not experience opinion. And I am defining opinion as where you shift from the purity of preference, the objective truth-telling of what is liked and disliked, or liked more and liked less, and you shift into legislation. The legislation of experience. Trying to control, trying to have power over. True power does not have a position. True power doesn't take a stance. Can you hear the way these words work together? There's no preposition. There is no stance taken. There's no incarnating. You're not hardening into a place. It's not power over or under or behind or around. True power is just power. It just is itself. It hasn't departed from itself. It's the awareness of where you are. I am here. I am here in my feeling, my experiencing. This is me. This is where I am. I am all of this. I am here in my feeling of I really like this. I am here in my feeling of I really like this less. And I am not departing from that place. The second I have departed from my stanceless, positionless power, I've actually departed from myself. I've actually surrendered myself. I'm actually lying to myself. I'm actually resisting myself. I'm at war with myself now. That doesn't feel good. If I take a position, I create opposition. This is how polarity is created. So instead of night and day being simply different experiences, they're perceived as polar opposites. They cannot exist at the same time. They're in constant struggle with one another now. We are pitting these things against each other. This is where black and white thinking emerges. Instead of seeing black and white as experiences, as inherently equal, as actually really existing at the same time, because they are and they do. Everything is existing. Everything is at once here. not anywhere else, can't be anywhere else but here. The train's gonna make Wookiee noises for a minute now. But instead of that, we think these things are opposite. We take a position that one is better than the other, that one is superior, that one has supremacy, right? We grade, we put experience on a hierarchy. And we make some portion of experience supreme and the rest of it inferior. And of course, there's the supremest of the supreme. It just gets smaller. The gradation gets smaller and smaller. It's infinite. It's infinite. There is no tippy top. We will keep whittling this point down. There's the top 1% and the top 0.1% and the top 0.001% and on and on and on. Supremest of the supreme. The creamiest of the creamy crop. It's endless. The grading is endless. And I would say, because it's fun to hear these words, that all gradation is degrading. It is diminishing. It is exhausting. It is flattening. It is all valuation is devaluation. And just like you can feel with these terms, it cannot continue because it takes energy, because it is inherently depleting itself. It is exhausting itself. The gradation takes effort and eventually erodes the very foundation that supports it. And that is happening. So I need to go inside because I'm already late. But what I want to say is that those who believe that they want or need, but we'll go with want, those who believe that they want power over conditions, want other people to believe that they also want power over conditions. We think of power over as over people, as part of this like social hierarchy structure, but power over conditions is still dominance. You're still trying to dominate conditions. You have put conditions on a hierarchy. And the belief that we want power over conditions isn't true. It's not true. We actually don't. What we want is to know our unconditionality. We want to know unconditional security and well-being, and that means removed from conditions. We would like the conditions to be free. If we are trying to legislate conditions, guess what? They're legislating us. Whatever we try to control controls us. This is the way it works. It is reflective. This isn't moral. It's not ethical. This is just the way that it works. These laws are physical. This what goes up must come down. It's you know. You cannot legislate freedom. You cannot fight for peace. If you want peace, you give up fighting. If you want freedom, you give up controlling. And then you know it. You stop waiting. If you want to be here, stop waiting to be here. If you want to be alive, stop waiting to be alive. If you want to just be here and stop thinking about the future and the past and the planning and the worry and the fear, then stop. Just be here. It takes trust. But trust is what you want to feel, actually. You want to feel taken care of. What you want is to trust that you're taken care of. I'm not talking about people. Forget about people. This is bigger. This is beyond people, human and otherwise. This is trusting that you are taken care of. Point blank, period. Not by, not because of. That's the whole sentence. Trusting you are provided for. Trusting all is provided for, because also you recognize all flourishing is mutual. There is no way to separate your well-being from anyone, anything else's. But you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to figure that out. Trusting you are taken care of. That is your power. That is the choice you can make. You can surrender control of conditions, which you never wanted to begin with. That belief was just installed. It was installed by others who were afraid. Others who had that belief installed in them. And who felt the relative shallow security of dominating the power structure and thought that was it. And so they want you to continue playing this game so that they can have their shallow security reinforced by your belief in your insecurity. Shallow insecurity. We've used that word a variety of ways. I'm hoping the meaning comes through in the way I intend here. The power structure only functions if you continue to agree, believing that conditions can be good and bad, and that those conditions have the power over you to control the way that you feel, to keep you from what you want. What you want is to feel taken care of unconditionally. There are no conditions that can stop you from reaching for that feeling. When you accept what is, when you accept the conditions as they are, you stop giving them meaning, you stop giving them power, you stop waiting, you recognize, you demonstrate to yourself that in the acceptance that this isn't bad and it isn't wrong and it isn't dangerous to you. And yeah, you can dislike it, but it isn't unwanted. You can demonstrate to yourself what you really want is to feel safe, and you can do that unconditionally. You can feel safe beyond conditions. You can source that from a deeper place in yourself. You can trust. You can choose to trust. What you want is to trust. And people are going to try to talk you out of that. They're not going to like that you're in the middle. They're not going to like that you refuse to take a position. They're not going to like that you refuse to move, that you refuse to do something about it, about their discomfort, because you are demonstrating your own self-sourced security to yourself, and you're demonstrating it to them. You're no longer providing them security. You're no longer providing them the emotional validation. You are teaching them to seek it for themselves. You are empowering them to seek it for themselves. And you are standing in your power. That's the only place power is. Still, being. The power to be intensely. The power to choose trust. The power not to accept the influence of a belief that does nothing but set you in opposition to yourself. A belief that you should do something, that you must do something. A belief that you should have control, you should take control. The belief that you should have or want control over conditions. The belief that conditions can be good or bad. All of these beliefs are lies. That's why they don't feel good. That doesn't make them bad. They're not bad. They're just not true. You can always return to the objective truth. Your home. The objective truth. There's a reason we're driven. There's a reason we're obsessed with truth, because it is home. And when you stand in it, everything becomes clear. It is illuminated by the clarity of this place. But the objective truth that you are is that. The objective, it's so beautiful. You are the objective truth, and the objective truth is that you are. Stay there. That's home. Everything is. You don't have to like war. You don't have to like murder. You don't have to like starvation. You don't have to like people exerting power over each other. But it's happening. Stay with the objective truth. Just don't depart from that place. The second you say that shouldn't be, you've engaged in the power structure that you don't like. And you've told a lie. And it's going to feel shitty. You're at war now. If you are anti-war, you are creating war. If you are trying to legislate freedom, you are creating more control, more chains, more imprisonment. If you want peace and freedom, what you want is to know peace and freedom. And you can know that now. Free from condition. This shit wouldn't matter if it weren't universally accessible. That is the whole goddamn point. That is why it gets covered up by the mind. It's here now. There is no path. You're here. There is no barrier between you and God, between you and peace, between you and freedom. There is nothing to do. There is no step to take. It's stopping trying to take all the steps. It's stopping everything else. Giving up the story. You're here. What do you want? To know your well-being? To know security? To feel? Everything that we have is a feeling. Everything that is a feeling. There is nothing that exists that is not experienced and experienced as feeling. You feel it. This is how everything interacts. Feeling is what is real. What you want is to feel that everything is taken care of. To give yourself finally permission to just be here, to just arrive, to just be at the party, not knowing what's going to happen, but knowing that it's a good time. You're going to get fed. You're going to have fun conversations with people. Interesting, exciting things are going to happen. You're going to laugh. You're going to dance. Who knows what else, but it's going to be fun. That's the feeling of arriving at the party. There's nothing for you to do. This is not for you to plan or figure out. This is for you to experience. It is for you to be here. And all of this stuff that we do is just used as currency to exchange for that feeling. We do all of the stuff, all of the work, the planning, the exercise, the preparation to use that as currency in exchange for permitting ourselves to fully be here. Oh, now I'm allowed. Now I'm allowed. I've earned it, right? I've worked for it. I deserve to be here now. You can stop. You can stop using things as currency in exchange for the permission that you give yourself to be here. And just trust. You can say enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm done. I'm here. I'm allowed to be here. And just be here. That's what that means. No more planning. No more peering into the future so that you can try to understand it and get ahead of it and get a leg up. No more angling against. No more becoming strong so that you can fight off life. Become soft. Become sensitive. Become receptive. Let it in. Trust the chef. Trust your friends preparing this feast for you. For everyone, for all of us, for our own joy. What we want is to trust. We don't want power over conditions. We want to trust them. We want to trust ourselves. We want to trust that we are taken care of. And that's a choice every single moment. And you know what feels really empowering? To hear the voice saying, I don't know, you shouldn't trust it. I don't think you should trust it. You can't trust it. You're in danger. You're in trouble. You better do something. To feel that welling up of fear, that pressure. And to take a deep breath and say, yeah, no. I am gonna trust, actually. I know everything is screaming at me not to. But I just don't like not trusting. I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel good to me. It just feels kind of sick and I just don't like it. I like trusting. So I'm gonna do what I like. And that's my power. To trust. To open, to receive, to be here on purpose because I'm choosing to, because I am permitting myself to do so. And then I'm at ease and I'm satisfied, and whatever else is here is part of it. It's welcome. These are all guests at the party. It's all welcome. All of the emotion that's here, all welcome. All of the physical circumstance, welcome. If the body feels sick, if it hurts, that's welcome. If there's screaming, if there's fighting, if there is gunfire, if the building is on fire, I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust. I'm okay. And I'm going to be here. I'm not going to wait for this to change to exist. Fully. Present. Aware. I'm here now. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm paying attention. I'm not doing anything. There's nothing I should do. I'm just here. I'm receiving the experience. I am allowing myself to experience preference. I'm expressing preference. I am not diverting from myself into the stance making and position taking of legislating. I'm not sending some of experience to the lions because I didn't like it. I'm just saying, I don't like it. I don't like it. I like feeling. I like feeling. I like knowing that I don't like it. I really like knowing I don't like it. Thank you for being here so that I can know, so that I can feel. Thank you for being part of what I'm feeling. Thank you for showing, demonstrating my existence to myself. my experiencing. Thank you for being a part of this. I don't like it. I like not liking it. And I will not exert power over, because I don't need to, and I don't want to. I love you. Take it easy.